Hello, everyone. Let me go ahead and drop these in the chat real quick so you guys can kind of see this live. Bear with me if you would. Sorry. There we go. So you guys can see this as I'm doing it on USD. And I'll put my infamous little red thingies in there so you guys can see it. I'm just dropping this link into the Signal chat. Hello, everyone. Real quick, I just wanted to say hello and say thank you for popping on. Today is Monday, Martin Luther King Day. So for those who are celebrating, it's definitely something to celebrate and absolutely commendable. So it's kind of an awesome, thing for those of you who, follow all of that. Having said that, let me go to my Safari, make sure that's where it's supposed to be. Ta-da, and it is. Awesome. Thank you. So real quick, I wanted to say Donna and I have went through all the numbers after a very long weekend, kind of hanging out with some like-minded individuals, all going in a different direction in life. Very focused on wealth. Granted, that kind of the background there is real estate, but the concepts are very comparable. It's investing, it's good wealth management, and tons of amazing information and awesome people. So now kind of getting back in the swing of things. Everyone got their numbers in on Friday night, and we will be going over those. I'll probably announce them either later tonight, or even tomorrow morning on our call. So there are a few people who got 95%. Well, there's one for sure, and that's pretty stinking fantastic. A lot of people in the 70s, which is I was hoping for slightly higher than that. But once we go over that information, we'll go over probabilities. We'll go over how to take what you're doing and give yourself the edge. You have to understand that most investors are literally making millions and billions of dollars off of a 2% and 5% difference. And when you guys look at your accuracy ratios, please understand that a 5% edge is enough to make you massively profitable. For those of you who participated, I absolutely I adore you and I love you and thank you so much. For those of you who did not, I do not know what you're thinking, so can't work with that. But real quick, kind of keeping this short, sweet, and simple. As you guys can see, this is AUDUSD on my screen. I'm definitely not the only trader who has the Australian dollar going up, being bullish. This, if you decided to enter now, would be a fast entry. It is not the confirmed entry. Now, the reason why I'm willing to do this is because the daily, weekly, monthly, higher time frames kind of line up, and I'm pretty comfortable with where this pair is going. Entering right now for a buy would give you a very, very small stop loss in and around 40 to 50 pips, right? And you'd be going for at least 160 if you kind of just pull back. You going for a 2-to-1. So 120 pips would be your take profit, 60 pips, 50 pips would be your stop loss. Obviously, use a lot size that works for your broker. I cannot tell you what percentage of growth to go for if you did not follow the instructions in terms of what leverage to use and what broker you're using. I can't have any say. So if you're using a high lever brokerage on a swing trade account, then yes, you can go for 10 or 20% on this one trade. It's not a very volatile pair. It's not a very fast mover, so you're not going to be risking an insane amount, and your stop loss is pretty tight. So just that's what I'm seeing. As you guys can see, we have our triple arrows, we had our crossover, and then we pulled back. We got some divergence, and we kind of expected that to happen. Now, long-term wise, it definitely could pull back a little further than that. For those of you who have a larger appetite for risk or are more able to see a bigger picture, could we potentially see this continue to drop? Okay, and retest here, making a double bottom on the daily, weekly time frames? Yes, we could. But for risk management, and for those of you who aren't higher time frame traders, we're keeping the stop loss very moderate. We're keeping it very swing trade, intraday, kind of not holding for multiple weeks at a time. That's what I'm seeing. We have our triple arrows. We had our money tree string line crossovers. We broke above the 50, consolidated for a while, and then we pushed back down. So that's it. So there's not a whole bunch more to analyze. Those are your take profits and your stop loss based off of where we're at right now, which is the 6868. Well, that's pretty simple. So 0.68, 0.68. Well, depending on what broker you have, that will again be a varying number. I cannot control that if you're not using comparable brokers or comparable margin and leverage and all that other good stuff. So real quick, just to retell you guys, for those of you who took the AUD-CAD trade last week, we did super well on it. Now we'd be looking for a re-entry, kind of comparable thing. If you're not in this, you can only leverage so much per currency. because you don't want to be over leveraged per currency. So if something happened, for example, with the Australian dollar or the New Zealand, because they're so correlated with each other, we don't want to kind of put our whole account on in risk just following, one pair. So that's up to you and how you do that. Control your risk in terms of, if I'm doing a heavy swing trade for odd USD, I'm going to do, a smaller percentage for odd CAD, or whatever your rules may be. So maybe only do 15% instead of 20. Either way, limit your percentage. Now, if you took your profit on this would be a good re-entry point. Your stop loss again would be pretty moderate because it's not a fast moving pair. So you're looking at maybe a 60, we could say 65 pip stop loss with at least a 200 pip potential. We've got this going up way, way high long term, which again doesn't mean it can't continue to push down for a long time. It definitely can. These are entire world currencies that we're trading against each other. So those are what I'm seeing there. And for those of you who are in the signals group, you also know we're holding on the Euro NZD. So let's go to that's the 4 hour time frame. We have our triple arrows. As you can see, we have that beautiful breakout move, and then we retested. That's all we're looking to see. It's still a great setup. We wanted that pullback, and now we want it to break out again. So if you have not entered or looking to re-enter, again, if it might come down at most maybe 75-ish pips, we can't control that before it ends up going up. But that's kind of what we're seeing in terms of the Euro NZD as well. So if you have any questions, please put them in the Signals channel discussion group, and we will go over them there. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning. I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care, and God bless.